No, actually, he's going to be on here for a minute. Well, it's got 2 minutes left to go anyway. We are early, so don't bother watching for another 2 minutes. Um, it is 6:58 Eastern Standard Time. I'm here in Florida. The weather was beautiful today. We had a little rain. Gave me a chance to come in and prep the model somewhat that we're going to be working on. You can find this model at woodworlds.com, and it is called, I can now look at it, Activity Table. That's what it's called. You can go in and search. So now I'll bring some things back up. That's the wrong one. And for those of you woodworkers that are just scared to death of using the internet, I hope you don't use sharp tools. I hope you don't use power tools. I hope you don't use a hammer because you're incompetent. Every tool has safety requirements. If you don't follow the safety requirements on the internet, you're probably not following them on woodworking, and you're morons. There, now I've pissed a bunch of people off, but I don't care. This gentleman right here is Paul Sellers. It's Sellers. He has a plethora of how-to videos. Right now, he's showing how to square up an oak board. This is part 2. You can see that his hand is not in a position where most people would say you have to hold a plane. He has a reason for this. He explains it. But if you decide not to watch his stuff, go ahead and use your plane the way you want to. You might find out there's a better way if you just expand your sphere. Observe the rules of safety on the internet as you observe them in your shop. Very simple. I know most of you won't get it. I will downsize this one, and I'll open up it's going. I have a lot of things going. This is the problem child we're going to be dealing with. Whoever did this didn't have any safety rules in his brain. He probably uses a chisel for a screwdriver. We'll just wander around some and show some things just so we can kind of get a look at it. I went in earlier today and added these colors to try to figure out what I wanted to highlight and use and what I wanted to get rid of. I really don't like the background he's got, but he probably didn't bother learning how to make it right. One interesting thing here, he's got one component, a square. Why in the world would you do something stupid like that? Get rid of it. Anything you put in here that doesn't do any good is a waste of time. And computer space, which translates into time. Now, I'm going to go in and try to clean up this crud he's got right here. That is in the settings someplace. I think it's under, let's see if I can find it. If not, I won't worry about it. View, edge style, profiles, right here. Profiles make things darker. You can see, I'll go back and do it again, turn it back on. Your view, edge style, profiles. See how things get really, really bright? This line and this line. Why? I don't know. Okay, back to view. Edge style will turn Profile's off. Already looks better. We'll go back into view, turn edge style, and extensions off. And there's something else there. What are those? Let's go back into view, edge style. Well, we want edges on. Because otherwise, in fact, I'm going to zoom in right here and show you the reason we want edges on. Edge style. See this line right here? That is an edge feature. And I have no idea why. No need for it to be there. Now let's go in a couple more spots here. This is something you really don't want to have on. Shadows do absolutely no good for a design. So I'll go in and turn those off. Go back in. Shaded with texture is good. Back edges, I like turning those on. It gives me a depth that I can see in back of it. If you don't have that on, sometimes you will be picking things and it will be going to the back edge and you won't know it because you don't see it. What else can we do here? Well, one thing, we can go into view. I could go into camera and turn perspective off. It is so stupid. For buildings, it's great. For a kid's activity desk, it's ridiculous. And besides that, it doesn't print well. If you have perspective on, printing is going to drive you even nuttier than printing normally does with this program. Okay. You can see that I have certain intellectual issues with SketchUp. I have with every program I've used. You just have to kind of learn to roll with the punches. Something else that you would really want to do either as you get started or just very shortly after is decide what kind of joinery you want on this. He's got 2 rebates on this, and that's the only fancy joints he has. You could screw and screw, yeah. Glue and screw this. You can simply nail it. This would be a real nice one for pocket hole joinery. If you're really crazy, you could go with biscuit joints. I can't afford a biscuit joiner, so I ain't gonna do that. I'm yawning because I'm talking in a lecture voice and it causes me to breathe differently. So here we have let's see if I can turn the style off some. I wish I could go find my own style, but I can't. So we won't. I'm going to change this to a nicer light green. I'm going to go into the color wheel if I can find it. There it is. Let's see what. Oh, that's not a nice one. That's ugly. Back to the color wheel again. That's somewhat better. It's easier on the eye. In here, you can change how this responds to you visually. um, the selection. So when I go in to pick something, oops, wrong button. I'll get it. It highlights blue around it. A lot of things you can do with it. Some are important, some aren't. So, enough with that. Now, these spaces that I have highlighted, I'm going to select all of them on one side here. And I'm going to move them out with this key right here. I'm going to copy them out 10 inches. Now I'm going to go in and get rid of that one, and that one, and this one. Now these are made out of standard 1-inch lumber, so they're 3/4 of an inch thick. One thing we'll notice in here, on one of these, if I can find it, well, first thing is, I'm going to take this top, I'm going to copy it up 10. And I'm going to get rid of this. And you'll see some really strange things going on inside this thing. These are cups. You couldn't tell it the way he had it done it before. I have no idea how he managed to put these circles in here without putting holes in this plate. I have no idea, and I don't want to know. But I'm going to take this top, the writing surface itself, and I'm going to copy it along here 10 inches. And we'll get rid of this surface too. All we're doing is going in and cleaning up and seeing what this guy has done to us. I'm going to select this surface and this surface and move it 10 inches along the red axes. Yeah, I also got one of my circles there. That's all right. So now I'll go into this one and this one and delete those. My hotkey for delete is, surprise, delete. Now, I actually could come over and take this surface, and this surface, and move them out also, but that doesn't make any sense, because when we get done, for the time being, this board, and this board are going to be used twice, as will this one. So I'm just going to delete these. So now we have more geometry we need to move. We need to take this one and move it back, copy it back 10 inches. Why 10 inches? So I won't forget what I did. You'll notice that when he created this thing, his brilliant joinery, the way he made this geometry constructed, he put a hole in the side of it. Probably not the best combination you've ever come up with. I'm going to take this one and move them vertically 10 inches. Copy them, rather. And go back in here, and here. And I hold the control key down to get more than one. And now we have our floorboards We have our uprights, we have our seat, we have our reinforcing boards. One thing I don't have done yet is this triangle, and I'm just going to leave that for the time being, because I'll get to it after I move some of the stuff around. So now, let's go in and give some of these things depth, or make some components first. Triple mouse button, Shift C is a hotkey. Create. Triple or double mouse button rather to get this. Shift C, create. And I'm just going to do this a whole lot, so I'm not going to say the same thing time after time after time. So I get bored doing it. If you forgot, hit the rewind button. Because bookkeeping and file maintenance on this is no more fun than on anything else. And that's all I'm doing. Okay, now let's take all of these components, start at the top, hit your Shift key, go to the bottom, and let's hide all of them. See what we still need to do. We have one here, one here, one here, and one here. Okay. Now, a lot of people have complained that I don't go through, that's already a component, and give these things proper names. I don't care, because this tells me, by highlighting it, what component I'm dealing with. For those that need, what would you call this? Bottom side panel 1, front side panel 1, rear side panel 1, and then the other side be side panel 2, side panel 2. No! That doesn't make any more sense than what I'm doing. Okay, I'll leave this one here and just make it a component right now. And I'm going to make this one a component. And you can see what I was getting at here. Have I made this? I have not made this one a component yet. Let's unblank everything. Or unhide. Yes, this one is not valid yet. So what I'm going to do is go into this, and I'm going to delete this thing. In fact, I'm going to delete most of that. It is not doing me any good. Now, the way he created this thing makes this and this two separate entities. I'm thinking, since the joint is on that surface, that it's supposed to be one entity. So I'm going to twist this around a little bit, try to grab some more of it, not get rid of too much, but at least get rid of enough that I can see what I'm doing here. Let's get rid of this one. And lo and behold, it's too much. So I need to come in here. Try to get up what you do, because I'm getting confused. Let's get rid of this bottom. Well, I'm working on that bottom panel right now, and that's the problem. So let's select this. Shift C to make that a component. I hope I got the whole thing, but I'm not sure I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So take this one out. Let's take this bottom panel out too. And we keep uncovering more junk is what we're doing here. See all those panel on panel on panel this guy had? I'm not sure I've got it cleaned up yet. And then after looking at this, I'm not sure what he was. We may end up doing some rework in here. I may have gotten rid of too much. If I did, I did. Oh well. In fact, I think I did because this one needs to be completed. I'm having trouble with my equipment here. So I'm going to go in and put a line in my hot EL from here to here. And I'm going to make this a component. And you'll notice here, this did not stay checked because it thinks it's a part of that and should stay there. Make sure that's turned on and then created. So, let's go to our outboard features and start making things. We'll activate that one first. Go to extrude 0.75. And again, this is just a whole bunch of busy work. Now we already have several key features this component done. This one is not going to be a 3/4 inch extension. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what we really had going on here. Let's make this one 3/4. All right, and this one. I selected that entity. I want to kind of try to find out how long this thing was, whether it was supposed to go through or not. So I selected it, mouse button 3, it's an inch and 3/8. So to start out with, that's what I want to extrude, push, pull, this one, 1.375. So since I need to extrude this one. This one. And these two. And this one. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do this triangular piece. And I don't like this triangular piece. We are going to change that. In fact, if any of you are klutzes, you're going to notice all of these sharp edges and say, why aren't they rounded off? That's your choice when you're building this. Because sharp edges hurt your legs, your elbows, your thighs, and certain parts of the male anatomy. So we have, let's see, it's good solid. Let's get rid of this right here. And get rid of this. And get rid of all of this stuff in here. Now we're starting to clean this thing up some. So it starts to make sense. And aha! You got me. This right here is supposed to be part of that rail. And guess what? I didn't notice that because it was just too much garbage. But that's easy to fix. All I did was went in, made that component active, selected that face, and used extrude, push-pull from point to point, and now I have this feature finalized. So now, oh, I have one more feature that I need here. This one right here. Shift C and create it. And go in here and delete some of this stuff. And extrude this thing 3/4 inch. And you notice it didn't do 3/4 because it remembered what I had done last time. Here. Now, I'm going to go through and add some more color to this. I'm a little surprised my color. Ooh, that's pretty weird. That didn't work at all. Okay, I'll fix that in a minute. My hotkey is Alt B because their hotkey is just B. And when I go to hit the space bar, I have fat fingers, and about 8 out of 10 times I hit the B. I have to wait for this thing to cycle in. I have created some of my own colors here. This one, the two light maples are mine. The Guajara is mine. Cherry is mine. Birch is mine. And I think I just saw another problem. Yep, I did. This part is too short because of the way he created the stuff. So again, we'll push this one. Actually, we're going to extrude it. We're going to pull it this way from point to point. If I can get it point to point. There. Now I have my side posts and part of my desk tray set up. And I think I'll make the tray Guajara. And since this is part of the tray, I'll make this part, and this part all Guajara. I wonder if I can do all three at once. Yeah, I did. And just for grins and giggles, and because I'm going to make the seat green. We're just going to paint that sucker. In fact, you can paint this off. You can make it painted crayon colors. This is your model, your choice. That's what happened. It created a component, but the component, I didn't watch what I was doing. See? What I was telling you, when that doesn't highlight, it creates an invisible component, and it's there someplace, and it's just all confused. In fact, I like my idea of making it multicolor, so I'm going to go do that. 0.75. Looks foreshortened. Okay. Alt B. Blue. Yellow. I'm looking for bright red. There's red. There. What do I want this part? Let's go for I was looking for cyan. They don't have it in here. Or if they did, I just didn't find it. Okay. Nice golden rod there. And for the footsteps, dark brown. So now, let's take and get rid of these because we already have those created. And we'll take this part, this part, this part, this part, and this part, and move it. And we will move it this time because they're components, so they'll move. Back inboard. 10 inches. Now, I just run across a problem. Because of this joinery here, this part will not be able to be an identical part. But that's okay. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this geometry and get rid of it. Now I will take this and move it corner to corner here to there, and I moved it. You heard me say it, and I moved it. Guess why? I wanted to copy it. Control Z, grab the part again, hold the control button down so you have our little cursor that's got the plus on it. We'll do the same thing with this one. Only we won't do it wrong first. And we'll move, no, set it in. We'll copy this one in that corner to that corner. Let's get rid of some stuff here and try to figure out what he is doing with our seat. I do not know. I don't know if this is supposed to be a whole board to reinforce the seat. And since I don't know, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. First, I'll find out how long this is by infoing this edge. I'll do this edge because this one's sort of gobbledygook with other junk over there. Dimension. You go here, it's 3.5. It's a 1x4. Okay. I'm going to make this one active, and I'm going to increase this one by 3.5 inches. And I will take these two components and move, and I want to move them this time from there to there. And now I want to take this component and just move it straight down 10 inches. And I can see I'm going to hide this component. And I see what I'm doing wrong. So rather than just Control Z, I'll just go back, mouse button 3 on that component and put it back in. When I move this, it didn't move right. I thought I moved all of these 10 inches, but obviously this one didn't move that amount. So I'll take that and move it point to point to here. And he's kind of got it centered in the red beams now. He's got the seat reinforced so that even I can sit on it. I'm going to take this component, even though it's going to have to be unique. I'll show you how to do that. And I'm going to copy it from this corner all the way over to that corner. Now let's move this stuff back in along the red 10 inches. And now it's beginning to look a little more solid. Now we'll move our floorboard down on the green axis 10 inches or more. I'll just go ahead and do it point to point. Now, I'm really surprised that's some weird dimension. If y'all figured out what I did wrong, email me, message me, something. Now, we need 1, 2, 3 of these copied. So I've still got that highlighted. Go into the button, but like I said, copied. Select that point, hold the Control key down, go to our spacing, and then type in 3x. And now we have our floorboard done. Or do we? Do we still need another component over here? Ah, yes, we do. So we will grab this one. I'm trying to find out a good place to move it from the 2. Copy it. I will take it from this point and I didn't go far enough, but okay. Now, we'll take our top 2 boards and move them down. And this one I'm just going to move after I reselect it. Move it from point to point so it comes here. Now you'll notice that he had a really big gap here. Now, Control Z, let's do this. I can't get that one to highlight. But you can see he had this really big gap here. I don't think he wanted it quite that big. So we'll go ahead and fix it later. Okay, now we have a whole bunch of stuff in position. I don't have my bottom board figured out yet. I don't think I really want a 3/4 inch board all the way at the bottom of that thing for okay, that one is not a component yet. Shift C, replace, create, and make it active and go up 3/4. And then make that part of. Ooh. Alt me. So I blue. That looks like something. I like that one. Oh, the purple color. I'm getting all sorts of weird things like this. I'm not grabbing my components. That's what happens when you have too much junk geometry floating around. Okay, let's get rid of the side post. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this thing. Okay, get rid of that line, get rid of this line. Well, that's part of the problem. It's split. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Let's close this in. It's split. Okay, we'll have to hide the top too. Well, since I have a face here, I'm just going to pull that face out. There, healed. This line, that line. Looks like this is actually supposed to come all the way out. Put this line back in, and it's nothing again. Now if I put it in my work, that probably wasn't working in my. Yes. If you don't work in your active component or the component you want to work on, you don't work. It's really ornery that way. It's a good program, but it doesn't read minds. All right. Let's unhide everything. Edit, unhide all. And now I'm going to hide all of my components and see what we have left. Now, one thing you'll notice is that these crayon cups don't have any volume. This wall is infinitely thin. That's not a real good way to hold things together. What I'm going to do is go ahead and try to create, actually I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to hit Shift C, make that a component, and I'm going to get rid of the middle part, and I'll go in and activate my component again, and I'm going to extrude this up that far, and I'm going to go into the column. My component's still active. I am going to go into this feature, which is called offset. And I'm going to grab this, and I don't want to make it that thick. I'm going to make it 1/8 of an inch. We're probably going to buy plastic cups or use yogurt cups or something, but I don't have a lathe, so I'm not going to machine this part. And now I'm going to push that back down. Let's try 2 to start with. Looks like a pretty good element. Okay, let's see how long this one is. Maybe in 2 1/8. Wow! Folks, that was just a lucky guess. I promise I won't do that again. Now I'm going to go back into this when I'm going to try to extend it out a little bit, or offset it out, so I can get my lip in. So let's go here, all the way out there, and now I'm going to try to delete that, delete that, delete that. Right now I'm going to hide that component, but I got more stuff in there than I want. Okay. Now, that was number 17, or was it 19? I don't know what it was. Let's unhide 19. It was 19. And now we'll go into this component, make it active, and try to pull this lip down. I'm going to make it 3/16. Okay. Here. Now we have this, so I want to copy it. And it looks like about 4 inches 3 times. Now we'll go back to unhide all. And now we need holes in our top here. So what I'm going to try to do is using this geometry right here, from here, and hopefully these are 180 degrees apart. I'm going to create a line. I don't want to be in my active part. I don't want that component active. It'll mess it up. Okay. Line function. From here to there. And we'll see if that's in the center. Now I'll have my top plate active, and I will try to create a circle on the center of that edge, midpoint. And that's definitely not in the center. Okay. plan B. I'm going to take this component and intersect them. Edit, intersect faces with model. Now I'll hide that 19. I shouldn't have gotten those up there. And I'm still going to have basically the same problem. Okay, let's try going into line function again. Go from this one to that one. Now let's go in circle binding. See what I got? We're trying to get a midpoint or an endpoint. It was getting one below that. Midpoint. 1 1/8. I would like that a little sloppier, so I'm going to give it 1 point. Do I want it? Yeah. No, I don't. 1 3/30. Except I wasn't in my active part, so now it's just on top of the thing. So I'll go Control Z, Control Z. Oops, let's do Control Y because it got rid of my line too. Now I'll make sure I'm in the work part. At least I know what size I want my hole on. And this one needs to get extruded through 0.75. Again, I'm going to hide all of my components. No, I won't, because it doesn't highlight. Hide. Hide. And now get rid of all this junk. I'm going to unhide number 1. Make it active, that active, this active, and this active. And if this works, I'll be surprised. Copy. It's 4 inches, 3 times. Definitely didn't work. It should have done something with those arcs. Okay. Control Z, Z. Okay. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I'll just do the top one. 4 inches, 3x. Now, good. The faces are reversed for some reason, and that's a nuisance. And I'm just unhiding everything to see what we got here. The only thing I do not have in there, well, I don't have my inboard in. There needs to be, in fact, that was also rabbited in. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go from this corner to this corner and create a face. Make it a component. And now it's not going to be technically right. Activate it in 3/4 inch. Now, why it's not technically right is we have an interference here. That would be something you would clean up in a few minutes, as would this issue right here. Right now, my time is almost up, my ghost is almost gone, and we don't have a bottom plate in there. We can make it 3/4 or not. What I'm going to do is the two top parts, hide, and I'm going to go in from this corner on a rectangle, that corner. I didn't hit it, it grabbed something in the background. There. Make the component, create, make it active, and I'm not going to put that 3/4 inch. That's going to be 1/4. That's good enough. Thank you, baby. Unpick my two parts. And save it. I have components here, here. Yep, they're all components. Oh, I think I want my cups. They're not dry size. Okay, well that would be fixed later. And actually, I know how. Okay, I'll go fix my last tube up. This part right here was set on the inside. Push that in 3/4. And move that from this point to that point. And then I'm going to change my bottom plate by 3/4 also. There. Done. That is how you take a model that is totally bogus and make it pretty much cutlass ready. It will not like these holes here. Yeah, you'll have to filter those out when you do it. You can figure out your own journey here. I did not bother making the rebates here or here. Chances are I just use pocket holes on it. So, there you have it. Little calculation of our relief right here. Looks like maybe 2 degrees, 3 degrees each side. Plane it down and we're all set to go. And then round all the corners off. Push it out there, file, save. If this wasn't so heavy, I'd like to make several of them and send them to my grandkids in North Dakota. Turn the screenshot off. Readjust my camera after diddling it around. Like I said, overcome your fears, get out of your comfort zone, learn how to use your tools, apply safety measures. You will have a very comfortable life. Might get hit once? Yeah, you might. But if you have a good firewall and a good antivirus program, pretty hard to get hit. Being afraid of technology, you might as well go back to Axis and ads, guys. Except use dull ones because you won't know how to use them. I'll see if I can come up with something else that nobody will bother liking. So, sayonara.